What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Paris K,
And I am Lady J.
and we are two in sync.
That's right.
Y'all, we back with another podcast, and we fresh out of church. So, y'all, we just gonna allow the spirit to flow today, okay? So, how are you feeling?
How am I feeling? Okay, eye contact. Come on with it.
How are you feeling today in general? What's your mood? What's on your mind? What's going on? If you could just be transparent.
Transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly a little tired.
You tired? From what?
I worked yesterday.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I didn't realize that you was at work.
So, I got off this morning, literally, and I went to church.
Oh,
So I'm
sacrifice.
surviving off about 2.5 hours of sleep.
Oh, wow. So I am grateful that you still said you wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because here I am. I didn't work yesterday. And I was still debating if I was going to come to church today. Yes, believe it. And then I'm like, man, I don't even feel like doing a podcast today. I thought we was being transparent. But but the fact that you still was willing to do it and you didn't have nothing else going on. And you had a lot going on.
I just was busy with work. It wasn't. The reason why I got 2 hours of sleep is because I stayed up later than what I should have. But at the same time, I knew I was going to go to church no matter what. It's something about sacrificing that I truly believe is going to be rewarding eventually. Like, God is going to reward me for the sacrifice of getting up, even though I just got home, to get up and go worship and praise Him. So
that was us last weekend when we both had work on Saturday and Monday, and we still made that time. So here you are again, another week. Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. But I'm
not sorry. You are not
another
sorry.
week, and you decided, and so that's why I had to fix my attitude and quit, because it's like I don't have an excuse. I can't say, well, man, I ain't get enough sleep. I had to sleep. I had to rest. I had a lot of chance, so I had to push past how I felt.
Exactly.
And it takes a lot.
It does.
Like, even to this very present moment, I'm like, but I'm not ready. I don't feel my best, so I'm probably not gonna perform my best. And
this is not a performance.
I'm not gonna be able to give my best to the viewers. Okay.
That's what you meant.
That's what I said.
Now, you had said your best performance.
Yeah, but
this is not a performance.
It's not a play. It's not. Y'all know what I go through with this woman of Christ.
Patience, Paris.
Patience.
All right, so what I want to talk to you about today was definitely communication. And how effective communication, how far it can get you in life. How far do you think effectively communicating could get you?
Me personally, or
yes,
anybody that's
you?
That sounds very personal. I think effectively communicating can get me very far in life, especially in my relationship with others.
Okay.
Family, friends, significant others.
All right. So, do you believe in the phrase, if you know better, you'll do better?
Yeah, this girl is just really hitting me where it hurts today. So if I just we going with the flow though. But I do believe in the phrase. Do I believe in it or do I know of it?
Probably both. You heard of it, you know of it, but yeah, do you believe that it's actually true?
It's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah, it's not true. That if you knew better, you do better.
If you know better, you'll do better.
Right. It's not true because as we recently conversed about, I told you there was a period of time in my life where I did know, but I didn't do. So
and
for
can
that,
you elaborate on what you knew that you didn't do? Because everybody don't know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but just elaborate, on camera for me if you don't mind.
Just show my flaws, okay? As a teenager on up, probably even as a child, prior to really coming into connection with Christ the way I am now, I knew not to hang around the people I was hanging around with. I knew not to. I'm not gonna get too deep.
Your testimony can help somebody.
So we just learned. Thank you, Jasmine. Y'all forgive me because I am such a private person and she is.
You ain't gotta spill all the tea.
I mean, I can't really sugarcoat what it is I'm trying to say. Let me just get straight to it. We don't need to waste no time.
Yeah, we really not trying to. If you really trying to, let your story be effective, you gotta share it with others.
I'll say one of the things. At a point in time when I knew better was when I would I used to smoke, y'all. So I would smoke and probably overly drink and just be going out to clubs and just hanging out with people.
But the whole time you
knew better.
You was like, why am I doing this? But I'm doing this. Like, what was your thought process? That's what I want to know. Like, how can you consecutively do something that you know is wrong, or it doesn't feel right, but you keep doing it? Like, can you walk me through your mind? Like, how are you doing that? Like, were you having was it like a tug of war? Was it like, like I need to stop, but it feels so good? Like,
okay, well, I think when I was alone by myself, then I would face reality. A lot of times when you are in isolation, you ain't got no choice but to face yourself. So it's just you and your thoughts. But when I'm around other people who are doing these things with me, I ain't studying that. I mean, I got people who around me who make me feel more comfortable about my sin, right?
Yeah.
So
they making you feel like it ain't a sin. It's just...
Yeah, because we all vibing. Everybody's doing it, right? But when I get by myself,
that's when the Holy Spirit will be
dealt with me like crazy.
She's poking at you.
But throughout the entire process, I'm always still watching sermons, still reading the word. Not as much as I am now, though.
You a different breed.
But I'm still feeding my faith. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? The people that's around me, I tell you all the time, I'm sitting up there ministering to them while I'm being of the world. You know what I'm saying? And
so your thought process was when you were around people who were doing it, and it made it feel okay. But when you got alone,
right,
that's when everything was like,
I had to face myself.
So,
and let me say my bad. When I was alone and I was sober, that's probably.
Oh, when you were sober and alone.
Yeah, which was very rare, but it's true. But I'm saying to be not sober, you
still weren't. You didn't have any conviction as long as you were smoking. It was only when you weren't high that you were
could agree to that. I mean, conviction came anywhere, but I felt it most when I was sober-minded and alone. So it could come when I'm in the midst of doing something, but I felt it most when I was alone. But have you ever had a time in your life when you knew better, but you didn't do better?
Yeah.
Can you give me let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
it. Take me on a trip down memory lane, okay? What was this time like? What were you doing?
We talking about as an adult or just anything I can give you?
I'm gonna go with prior to you coming as close to Christ as you are now.
Well, Paris, I grew up in the church.
Okay.
I've been saved for a very long time. Since a little girl, I've been believing in Jesus. So,
can somebody be saved and still not have that connection? Does that connection come immediately after you are saved?
I don't think that it works the same way for everybody.
Okay.
But for me, you could talk to my mom and my dad and my siblings,
right,
and they would tell you that as a little girl, God was already speaking through me. I was talking to adults like I was an adult. So, I don't know. He been in me for a while. I'm not saying
you're perfect.
Right.
Right. And so, was there ever a time where you knew better and you just didn't do better? It could be because you've always pretty much known Christ, or because you always pretty much known Christ.
Of course.
Was there still? Can you give the people a time?
I can tell you that when you get caught up in sin, or when you get caught up doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, if you are close to God, you're always gonna, what you're doing is never gonna feel right. But because you get so used to doing it, it becomes like a part of, like a routine. Am I making sense? It becomes something you do so much. The scene becomes natural, But when you're saved and you do, like you said, you were still tapping in, you were still watching your sermons and doing this. You were still feeding your spirit, but you were also feeding the flesh too, with the sin. So you had a battle, and I feel like that's what most Christians, our carnal ways can kind of take over. But you'll find yourself back if you actually listen to the conviction and be like, you know what, let me stop doing this. But as for me, there are plenty of things that I have done that I am not proud of.
Can you give us some examples?
She ain't gonna let it go.
I'm not, because I'm like, you know what? Truth.
All right. When I was a teenager.
Testimony. Let's talk about it.
When I was a teenager, I felt like I was grown. I wasn't grown yet, but I thought I was. So it goes back to what I just said and what you just said.
Right.
I knew that as a teenager that I was supposed to honor my mother and my father so that my days will be longer.
Right.
So I knew I was shortening my days by being disrespectful. Yet, I kept being disrespectful. Anyway, I didn't want to do nothing my mama told me to do. I would go to school, make A's and B's on the road, straight A's. Perfect child at school, but when I got home, don't bother me. Don't tell me what to do. Don't ask me to do nothing. Just leave me alone. That was my attitude. But I knew that how I was acting wasn't right, but I just didn't want to change. I was so caught up in what I was caught up in. I hope that was a good enough example for you.
I think that was a great example. And so at what point did you say, okay, I can't do this no more? What happened? What was your come to Jesus moment?
I'm trying to remember when I stopped. I did it.
Not a specific date and time, but like around that period of time that you started, okay, let me respect my mom, or let me not do this. Like, do you remember when?
I think it was after I left, like when I moved away from home, when I went off to school, went to college, you start appreciating.
Mommy.
You start appreciating your people more when you're not around them. I think going away, I think that's pretty much what I needed, even though it sounds crazy because I was a child, but as a child, it's like I needed space.
You felt as if
like space helped me, like some distance helped me realize, okay, I had home cooked meals, now I'm eating noodles.
Bless her. Please, bless her. Seriously.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff that we do and we end up like, why was I acting like that? I have a lot of moments that I can think back on and I'm just like, why? Because that just shows the growth. It shows when you can look back over your life and be like, man, that was me. I was doing all that. I would never do that now. Like, that actually shows your progress, your growth as a spiritual being. Like, because, like I said, I knew I was shortening my days. I don't even know if I can get them stretched back out. I think once you've shortened them, they've been shortened. Ain't nothing I can do.
That is not funny, but that's real. And it happens to, like, all of us all the time, though. So, I think everybody go through that period of time of just, well, let me say most people, where they just, as a child, you just still trying to figure it out. How far can I go? Like, you're not always open to what your parents are saying. It takes you to go through something.
Yeah, scripture just came to mind. Train up a child in the way that they should go, and they will never depart from it. So that means they may stray, they may sway, but if you train them up, what you instilled in them is going to always be in them.
Right.
So what my parents instilled in me, no matter how disrespectful I was back then, is in me. Taking me to church actually helped me. It made me, better.
I would like to say that knowing you now, I honestly cannot see you disrespecting your parents.
Right.
I can see you being funny.
Because I'm a goof troop.
Goofball. But actually seeing you disrespect your parents, I cannot see that, which is a good thing. So.
And I used to say all the time, when you smoked, I couldn't imagine you smoking. I still cannot picture you, like, rolling a blunt. Like, I can't even.
Really? Envision?
I can't even see it. I never could.
That's good. I'm glad that you were able to see.
You were good at keeping that,
hidden?
Discreet, at least from me.
So you think I purposely...
You ain't gonna do that in front of me.
Oh, I thought you meant as like being not sober in front of you.
You've been high in front of me before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I have. I can't think of a specific time, but as long as we've known each other, I'm pretty sure at a point in time.
I guess you at the same high then, because I ain't know.
Wow.
A lot of people don't think that smoking is a sin or that it's bad for you, or tell me what it is that convicted you that the weed in general, like, it's not for you. You feel like it's not pleasing to God for you to do it.
Well, a lot of people oftentimes hit you with, it don't say in the Bible that you're not supposed to smoke. Or it'll say, like, the Bible don't say anything about weed being bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's normally what people will say to kind of defend what they're doing. But it does say to be sober-minded.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how can you be
for a long
time,
right? How can you be sober-minded high? For a long time, I too would try to comfort myself and, like, not with what they were saying, but I would always make up the excuse of, like, I still can function. I mean, I even work better. You know, it's nothing that I still pray. I still do these things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what I told you to do. I asked you to be sober-minded. You're not fully yourself. You won't reach your full potential straight up if you just high all the time. If you just high, period. If you're not in a sober mind, you're not gonna fully be able to be who God calls you to be.
All right, I like that. Okay, so you just gave me some more where I have more questions now.
Oh Lord.
They're not personal.
Okay.
It's just more so about what you just said and how it could help somebody watching. Okay, so what would you say to a person who is like, weed makes me operate better? You know, I love God. It's not, I don't have any conviction. It's like, I don't feel like God is telling me to stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to a person like that? Would you even have anything to say? Would you, like, give me your feedback?
Me personally, I would just give them my personal testimony, but if somebody don't feel any guilt in what they're doing, the most I could probably do for that person right there is pray that eventually that they do start. I mean, it is being revealed to them that what they're doing is not pleasing to God. But the closer you draw to God, the more it'll be revealed to you the things that are just not of Him. So that person right there, I really can't tell you nothing, but I can pray for you that He do touch your heart so that you will draw closer to Him, and then you'll start to feel more of a conviction. But somebody right there.
So would you say a person who says that they are very close to God and they smoke, would you feel like they're lying?
No, because I was that person at a point in time. I feel like, because he gonna bring it out of you at a appointed time. There's gonna be a time where you just won't even feel right no more. Everybody gonna have their time, but that don't mean they any more or less close to God. Are they receiving Him in their full potential? Probably not. But that don't mean that they don't. Because I was that person that still prayed so much. But as far as hearing from Him clearly and walking fully in the direction, that didn't happen until I stopped smoking.
Now that you have, gave it up, you hear Him more clearly. There's a lot of clarity. There's a lot of, He's literally speaking to you on a daily basis, and you know it's Him every time.
I'm able to better identify His voice.
Well, I never smoked, so I can't tell nobody. Don't. I mean, I can do what you just did. I can tell them, I always ask them why they do it and what does it do.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. One thing you do though that I think is very beneficial and helpful, you do open somebody's mind up. So if somebody come to you high or they come to you just not sober, whatever that may mean, one thing about you're gonna make somebody question their very selves just by asking them a question. So it's like, why do you do this? Okay, what does that make you feel like? Okay, I think that's awesome, and I think everybody could definitely use that.
Yeah, that's
to plant.
I mean, I have people right now that I work with, young folks, real young folks, and I can't put nobody's name out there. No. They probably gonna be watching, but they be like,
I'm sorry to whoever that may be.
This the part that be blowing me.
Okay.
They be like, oh, I can quit any day. Like, I'm not addicted to this. Like, I smoke because I want to. And I be like, oh, okay, well, we'll go 3 days without it. 3 days. Or I be like, okay, well, don't smoke tomorrow. I gotta smoke tomorrow, Chandler. Let me try on Tuesday when we get back to work. Like,
they got
it. They say they don't. I'm trying to make them see that it's something that they actually have to have, even though they claiming they don't have to have it. If you can't stop doing something at any given moment,
it has
some type of hold on you.
Cause, like, okay, I'm the opposite. Because if you would have say, I bet you can't go a week, just because you betted me, I would go that whole week without doing it. Like, it was that easy for me.
Really?
Definitely so.
So I should have been challenged you a long time ago.
You could have definitely been challenged.
I could have been like, Paris, most you could go 30 days. And
if
you would have actually
you really made it like a challenge and not
asking you to be like, I bet you can't do it.
Yeah, yeah, but why not? Watch. You know, I'm more so open, but I wasn't as like, oh, I just can't go tomorrow without I'm gonna die. I'm just
So you weren't addicted like that? I thought you was. You was acting like you smoked all the time, all day.
But I was able to put it down anytime I needed to. Does that make sense? Or are you not agreeing with me?
You was able to put it down anytime you needed to.
So
you gotta
for a period of time when I had got in trouble with authorities.
Probation.
Okay, let's put it all on the table. I could have my probation didn't have anything to do with me smoking.
You don't got to go into detail, but
right.
Being on probation is something that actually made you stop. You had no choice.
I had a choice because it had nothing to do with me smoking at the time.
But if you get caught doing something,
but there was no
correlation.
Okay, bear with me. If you was arrested for shoplifting, that was not my charge. If you got arrested for shoplifting,
example.
Yeah, they're not gonna drug test you unless you like give them a reason to. But your thing have nothing to do with drugs.
Okay.
So, but being that my thing had nothing to do with drugs, they're not
looking to
drug test.
You was never gonna get drug tested.
No, not in that particular time.
Okay.
Period. Okay. So I did have an option to not do it, but
to do it.
Right.
So you just chose not to be on the safe side.
To be on the safe side, but I just feel like, oh man, everything just
falling apart.
Oh, I got to do something about my life. I can't just keep doing this. And so I'm like, you know what, God, you help me. I'm going to do something for you. I got something for you.
I feel like there are going to be a lot of people who may disagree. Because, when you're not ready to give something up, you're going to make every excuse in the world to keep doing it. I feel like
there are those people who make those excuses, and then there are people who are able to give it up. It's a little bit of both. There's some people out there that can't give it up.
I guess this is, okay, this not for everybody. This is for Well, who was it for?
Anybody that ever battled with smoking, period. Whether it's easy for you to give it up or it's not. If it was a battle to you, if you even smoke, if
you're not saved, if you're not a believer,
mm-hmm.
how can, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, when I say this message may not be for everybody. Everybody may not have that conviction because they ain't accepted Jesus and they ain't got, it don't work. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna work the way it will work for a person who actually believes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, I was waiting on the question.
Okay.
Just dumb it down for me and the people out there that didn't get it when you just said.
It's gonna be some people who may watch this and be like, I'm finna go roll me a blunt right now.
And that's okay. I'm like, keep going. Okay, let me watch how I say this. I'm like, I don't need anybody to stop because somebody told them to, because 9 times out of 10, you probably not.
Right.
But the more you seek after God, he's going to take those things away from you. But you saying for the people who don't even care, atheists or non-believers.
Yeah.
For them, is do you want to do it or not? Do you want to stop smoking or it doesn't bother you? Like, I cannot, it won't bother you if you don't, okay, let me watch how I say this. If you don't believe in God, I don't think it won't even bother you. It's no right or wrong to what you're doing. I feel that, like, if you don't even believe, why does it matter to you what God thinks? You know what I'm saying? That's as a non-believer, so it
don't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't believe in them, so they gonna do what they want to do.
That's right. What I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You're right. It was just funny.
I was just saying that. Whatever, Jasmine.
We've been doing good. Effectively communicating.
Okay, I think.
Go ahead.
Y'all, I have a problem with communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And she lets me know that every single chance she gets.
Because I just want her to do better, y'all.
And I think I have had much growth in my communicating over the years. That
I give a A for effort. Even though it should be an E, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why they be saying that. It just blows my mind every time.
A because it's a grade. You know, you can't. Well, I'm actually from the generation of E's. You don't need nothing about that, do you?
I think I've probably heard of it before. I didn't know. I don't think. Now, E as in excellent for your. That's what you're talking about.
No, like
for your conduct. E for conduct.
Are like you talking a grade.
About,
you
no.
get an E.
What would that grade percentage be?
I guess that do mean excellent. What?
I'm saying like a 90 is an A. What would an E be?
A A is 90 through 100. That would be an E.
Jasmine. I'm not finna fool.
You're really making me double. Like I'm really like, hold on.
You second guess yourself.
What were we just talking? Oh, communicating. You've been doing good today.
Oh, y'all see, it's tough, but you always want you a Jasmine that's gonna hit you where it hurts. Like she ain't gonna allow you to.
Or a Lady J.
Or a Lady J that allowed a friend that's not gonna allow you to just have to do everything.
But the bare minimum.
I think communication issues, as I stated earlier, start childhood wise. Like it's not just something somebody just grew up. Like you had something happen as a child.
What you mean? What happened to me as a child?
I'm saying as far as the person who don't know how to properly communicate.
Okay.
It had to be things that I have to talk to a therapist. to let you know is that because I don't know at what point did I just start just not being able to openly effective communicate. But I know that this just ain't start off as a like as an adult. This started as a child.
You got me cracking up, yo.
Yeah,
I'm
not can't ever be serious.
It's the way you said you need a therapist. That part was funny. The way you said it. Oh, I don't think therapy is a bad idea.
Oh, I thought you.
I might need a little therapy myself.
I think you need a lot of therapy due to the fact that you said a little. Wow. But I only said that because I do plan on going to a therapist soon.
Okay. I almost went to school for psychology.
Me too. I'm thinking about going back to school.
Hold up, wait, time out. How can a person who just admitted that you don't effectively communicate want to be a psychologist?
Right. So the fact that I'm thinking about going back to be a therapist led me to say I'm gonna need therapy before I go back to do that. Like I'm gonna have to go fix what I got going on before I can become.
Obviously,
but that's all I'm saying. I don't understand the question, Your Honor.
What I'm saying is, how was that ever a thought of to be something that I don't get it.
I don't understand the question.
How can you feel like you can help other people but not yourself?
I think I've done the best I could with myself. And I think everybody in the world needs therapy.
Everybody in the world?
Everybody in the world.
We all dealing with something.
Okay, let's talk about
it. Well, what if all I want to do is talk to God?
That's awesome. You said that. So when you are hurt, say something physically happened to your body.
Okay.
And your arm just got sawed in half, okay?
Okay.
All you want to do is talk to God about it. But God also put people in place to help you.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
I put a little power in this person to help you here on earth. I'm going to do the rest. But I'm going to use okay, you get what I'm saying?
All right. I'm sick.
You sick.
I can pray.
You can pray.
God heal me.
Uh-huh.
Or he placed doctors in the hospitals, urgent care, clinics.
Yes.
I can go see one of them and they can just help me speed up my recovery.
He's gonna use them, okay, to help
Absolutely.
You. He's gonna help you, and I got some people I'm gonna use to help you as well. I put my power in some of these people.
That's called using the wisdom and the good sense, if you have any, that he gave you.
Right.
A lot of people don't think like that though. It is a lot of sick people who will be like, I ain't going to no doctor.
Right. So that's what I was getting back to with the therapy though, Jan. You were saying, but what if I got God? I know you probably would just.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right. I know that. So
okay.
I was just saying for the people who did think like that.
You just clarifying.
Yeah, like you can definitely have God and be the best Christian or whatever religion you may have, but he also put people in place.
Resources.
Come on, man. Resources.
That was the word right there.
That was right on time.
And it's up to you to utilize the resources that he has placed.
That's like
for you to be able to use.
Yeah, we ask for a miracle. He give us the things to create something, and we don't even. Okay.
Yeah, I personally don't like going to the doctor, but I'll go if I'm really sick. But most of the time, I doctor on myself.
Same.
But ask me why. Why I don't like going to the doctors.
Why you don't like going to the doctor?
Because they always, it's like going to get your oil changed and they tell you your engine about to blow up. It's like they give you other bad news most of the time.
I told you that too.
Yeah,
like they full of bad news. You go for one thing. Let me tell you, Miss Johnson, you also have, my God, But they always say it's better to know than not to know, but it don't feel like it. I feel like I'd rather have not known it.
Right. I have to literally be like, okay, God, I'm finna go. Just get me to and through.
Right. I mean, that's the only way I can get through is to ask for the courage.
I will Robitussin myself to sleep.
She Robitussin, shawty. I'm like natural remedy, shawty. Like, I go try to look up the most natural way possible to get this healing. But sometimes ain't nothing more you can do but go to the people he sent to help you.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. And I don't even know how we ended up on that from communicating, but I trust
it. I think the execution had to be smooth.
Had to be, but we just went from one place to another. But y'all, we was just being so transparent with you guys today, and we open up a little bit more. And hopefully each time we come on here, we can be able to give them a little bit more and a little bit more. I can't wait to Jasmine open up even more.
I didn't do good.
You did good.
All right.
Next time she'll do even better.
Pat myself on the back for that, because I'm a very private person too.
Right. And
two private people with a podcast.
And she just made me open up so much.
I ain't make you. That was Holy Spirit led. I just asked the questions.
He used you. He used you, but you guys, we thank you for getting through this whole video. If you got through the whole video,
share it with somebody. You never know what they can gain.
Yes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm Paris K.
And I am Lady J.
And we are 2 in Sync. And we out.